This is your degenerate power hour. Your late night golden shower. Too ill to be sick. So thick you can't split. That carnival spin with the Rick this grand. I'm Joel, he's BMO, and this is Vagrants and Vandals Radio.
Well, haven't lost a step in that.
We back. The rumors of our demise, of a rift between the two original Vagrants and Vandals has been greatly over-exaggerated.
Let me stop you there. I was just going to say thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it. I haven't been on since last year. It was a long time ago. It's good to have me back on as a guest. I appreciate it.
Listen, I was trying to give us a nice positive send-up into the crescendo of saying we're coming to you from Honey Hole 2.0. 2.0 because we're in Brandon's boys' rooms today. Why are we in here?
Oh, that room is full of shit. We had another flood,
You did?
No. Well, it happened since the last time I've been on, but it's the same one you remember. But
Okay.
that room is just chock full of shit.
Yeah,
and it reeks of dogs. That's where she sleeps. This is just a better setup.
Yeah, this ain't bad. This ain't bad at all. We had to wait to start the podcast because the boys have an ensuite bathroom, and Gibby was in there
Straight up
taking a shit.
They're gonna really appreciate it in their teens.
Yeah,
You're like looking for a place to wank one.
Yeah.
It's always like,
yeah.
as an adult, I still have to do that.
Like quietly sneak away.
No, not even that. It's like I get off at 3:30. I'm like, if I really rush home, if I get home and I got a good extra 10 minutes to spare, I can get this done. If I don't get it done, it ain't happening until tomorrow when I run that same goddamn gamble.
Yeah, I generally just do it when I'm in the shower.
Oh, I'm not a shower jerker. It grosses me
It's
out.
just
I don't pee in the shower.
necessity. You don't pee in the shower?
Nope. It grosses me out.
Really?
I don't know why. It always has. I've never been one for that.
Oh, I always piss in the shower.
I watched a video about speaking of showers. This chick was talking about how she's grossed out because people share bars of soap.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you don't want to be putting that on you after I put it in my ass. And the guy's like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, what do you mean? How do you wash your ass? He's like, I lather my hand up and I stick that up there and go between the crack. You don't put the whole bar of soap up there. Like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Says who?
Oh, I feel bad for your whole household.
I'm the only one that uses it.
No, even still, though. You going to put it on your face?
No, I don't wash my face like that in the shower. I don't think it's necessary.
To wash your face?
Water gonna get it.
No.
Nah.
No, bro. Maybe we need to cover hygiene in an episode because
You focus on the pits. You
Pits,
focus
tits, and
on your
ass.
crotch. Yeah, I mean,
it's just ass.
everything else, the water going.
I had a grungle bleed in like a year now, which is nice.
Yeah, I forgot about your grungle.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. You know what I really think it is? I noticed a correlation with me getting like ingrown hairs and then fucking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just like all the grossness, the juiciness of it. It just gets infected. Oh, it's nasty.
It's good to see here in the first few minutes we haven't missed a beat from our last recording. Now, did you want to? You made a few allusions before we began recording. You wanted to air some grievances. Is that something you want to do? You can air some grievances.
I mean, I don't really have any grievances. I just think that I've been portrayed in a negative light in the group chat. I don't appreciate that.
Group chat,
Like, you drive me nuts. Like,
with everyone who's been on the podcast.
Because I don't even bother to respond anymore.
Denthead, Stu, and my brother.
You're like,
this is the audience you're concerned about.
Who wants to get together? And then we'll all message you like, hey, I'm available here. I'm available here. I'm available here. Andrew's like, did you even hear from Joel? I'm like, nope. Did that 3 weekends in a row. I said, I don't really give a fuck at this point. I don't know where the rumor mill started. Probably right here. I was like, I'm about fucking done with this shit.
Well, yeah,
I don't even care anymore.
You straight up posted it in the group chat.
Well, me and Andrew talk separately, and I'm always like, this motherfucker got me fucking ready to be done. I'm done with it.
Been busy and just tired. Ever since we moved into the house, the plumbing issue is still ongoing.
I was gonna ask you, like, that cleared itself up? Or?
I'll give an update. So at this point, I have probably spent over $1,200.
I think it's like $12,000. I'm about to shit my pants.
Just on this stupid clear out.
So that's what? Cleaning those pipes all the way out the road?
Well, yeah, that hasn't even happened.
I've never even been to your house.
This has just been, putting a Band-Aid on the issue. So one of the frigid-ass days about a month ago, had a guy come out. Was lucky to get someone to come out. He was much more thorough than the first schmuck was. That first guy, I'll never call that asshole.
Do you want to plug that fucking piece of shit who ripped you up?
No,
don't go to this fucking guy.
He was. See, here's the thing too. If I was dealing with if I was giving advice to anybody who was dealing with plumbing issues, go with somebody local. The first guy wasn't local. He's out of like Mount Clemens or something.
Like a Roto-Rooter type guy, or
nah, he was. I found him just by. It seemed like he went through like kind of like a company that finds work for plumbers.
Yeah, that whole system now is like really big for everything. That's,
sure.
I mean, shopping,
find more work.
Yeah, like we'll put you on a job for the day and that's that.
So I mean, I went with him that day because our basement was flooding, and I was just like, I need someone here now. And he came out and did the bare minimum, and then 2 days later, that weekend I was renting a damn whatever those things are called to do it myself.
The snake?
Yeah, I almost ripped my damn fingers off.
You
remember? Yeah. So thankfully, get this other guy come out there. He was much more thorough. He ran a camera. He was really explaining everything.
I kind of want to see that.
It was cool, but it wasn't maybe as interesting as you might think. It was basically just you saw the pipe, you saw some water in there.
Poop-coated line.
Really couldn't make out anything like that. And he was straight up, he was honest with me. He goes, he's like, the problem's a tree in your backyard. I was like, yeah, I figured. He's like, in particular, there's like a knot of roots that are just a couple of feet off the back of the house. He's like, that's where like the initial problem's happening. Like, that's why it's so readily backing up into your back.
I mean, was it like is it in your pipes?
Yeah.
So it essentially broke the pipe growing and then grew into it?
So those roots will pretty much, they're seeking out water. There's water in the pipes.
Right.
So they'll pretty much go through any tiny little crevice they can get in and start growing.
Like they're alive.
Well, they are alive, you know. The good thing was he straight up told me, because I asked, he said there's no breakages or evidence of collapse in the piping, which I was concerned about with the age of the house, because I was considering maybe doing one of those like inflatable liners.
Right.
Kind of looks like an intestine.
Yeah, and they pump it into the thing, and it.
Yeah,
I've seen those.
So, and prior to that, we had borrowed a couple of friends' power washers trying to jet it out, and we weren't successful. Matter of fact, there was like a Sunday, I borrowed our buddy John's, and then my brother came over. We couldn't get either one of these things to work for whatever reason, and I guess we may have gotten lucky because this second plumber told me, he goes, he's like, I often tell other people in the trade not to jet out sewer systems or your clean out, especially on old homes.
Well, you rupture the.
He said you can kind of loosen the point where they're kind of like joined together. So maybe that was a blessing in disguise. So anyways, he punched through the initial problem. He says, just, he's like, the roots are grabbing toilet paper. He's like, and then it builds up like a dam under there. And he told me, he was like, I can't even tell you how long this is going to last for. He's like, could be weeks, could be a few months. He's like, but long term, you're going to want to get a clean out put in that backyard.
And what do you got to dig the tree out? And
well, the tree's going to get chopped down eventually. But clean out, there's two spots in my backyard where there's holes in the ground that are capped that look like, oh, this is probably a clean out. Not the case. He literally ran his line down there and was like, yeah, these go nowhere. So they were just part of some bygone plumbing system. And the house is over 100 years old.
Bunch of dead bodies in there. It's like, oh, hey, I found a mass grave.
So that was about a month ago. Thankfully, knock on wood, haven't had any more trouble since, but it's just a matter of time. Right. It's just got to be dealt with.
It just sucks in your house because that's on you. Yeah. Like every time my apartment floods, it's fucking horrible, but I also get to call somebody and bitch. I'm like, hey, what do we do now? Don't clean this shit up.
Yeah, so now it's, it's one of those things where I'm like, well, I got my tax forms. Like, do my taxes. I could take the tax money and plop it towards that.
What you getting back?
Last year we got close to $5,000, so I'm guessing probably the same this year.
Got 66 back this year.
Nice. What, you already spend it?
Oh yeah, on a whole podcast setup. Start my own motherfucking show.
What'd you actually spend it on?
Calling it Vandals and Vagrants, motherfucker. No, I owe my mom money for rent that I've had to borrow throughout the year.
And that's the other thing. I'm like, okay, do I just pay down debt? Yeah. But then I'm like, okay, but I need to get that clean out done. So I pay down the debt just to put that back on the credit card. So
I did go to the mall today and drop a bunch of money on hats and clothes that I probably don't need. Got that fly as Biggie Smalls shirt.
Yeah, but I mean, see, that's the thing though. It's like you got to be able to have some of your money to enjoy.
Hey, if I'm gonna be poor, I might as well look good being poor. I mean, shit.
It's the thing. Like, I don't spend a whole lot of money on myself, but like I allow myself little trips to the comic shop.
I mean, we don't look poor. My kid's room, big ass TV, PS3, Xbox One.
Yeah,
I mean, they've got everything they fucking could possibly want.
We are a debt society, and that's how the powers that be want to keep it. Let them have access to money. Don't actually let them have money.
Right.
There's a difference.
You could have the chance. It's like the casino. You could win millions. Yeah. You won't. You won't.
So.
Well, that one place me and Andrew play, every time the Griffins win a game, homing, they give you a code for, I think you get $5 or $10 casino bets free and a $10 sports bet free. And, dude, every time I get it, I'll go wager the whole thing. Whatever,
sure.
Give me $10 and put it in war. One time I got it up to $100 and I took all that out. Every time since then, nothing. They taken it immediately. I said, all right, fuck you. I mean, it's free money, so I don't care.
Right.
But
that's what you do with the free money. You just
you
roll it on something big and hope to hit.
Like I said, April's had nothing but what I would call beginner's fucking luck because.
Take it though. Take it while you can get it. What are you doing? Brandon's on his phone.
April's are listening from outside complaining that I mentioned something she was not happy about. It's going to need you to blank that out because I don't need a mutiny like we had at your house. Don't worry, April. Okay. We'll take it out. There's an editing system for a reason. Yeah, God damn.
Yeah, that'll happen sometimes. I mean, shit, we all got to borrow money sometimes, whether you're borrowing it from family or you're borrowing it from a credit card or a bank.
I'll make that argument when I go out there.
You know? Like, shit, I mean.
She's been pissy for the last hour because of this stupid and this switch she's got we bought for the boys bought it, but she can't link it. She's getting progressively more and more stressed out about it. So I'm glad. Thank you, Nintendo, for having such a shitty interface that my wife is now pissed at me for something that has nothing to do with me.
Nintendo says thank you for your purchase, sir.
It wasn't me, it was my kids. I don't buy Nintendo bullshit.
Nah, it's I mean, goddamn. When you I tell people this sometimes. I tell like my single friends or like younger people I know. Like listen, like the state of the country right now, and I mean not just today. Like,
well, yeah,
over the last 50 years, there's been that trend where CEO pay, corporate profits just keep rising. The average worker's pay has stagnated. And we can all have our opinions on the reasons why. I mean, I think it's pretty clear why myself. It's hard to have kids. Like,
is the answer Trump?
No, but the answer is 100% Republican policies.
I think
they are the party of, take from the poor to give to the rich.
I don't trust either motherfucking side at all.
What do you mean by trust? Like, what?
I mean, I don't trust anything that's said to me by anyone that's associated or affiliated with those motherfuckers.
Yeah, but there's certain... That's the thing I always tell people. Like, don't listen to what they say. Go look how they vote.
I need Ross Perot back.
Well, he's dead, I think. He should be dead anyways.
Well, Joe Biden's dead and he's in office. I mean, come on.
and depending on who you talk to, I think when you're talking to reasonable people are always criticizing him for like, oh, he's old. Yeah, he's fucking old.
I like his...
Guess what? So's Trump.
Come on, man. You know what he said? He said it.
Here's the way I look at it. I look at the results, and I'm like, all right, well, you want to criticize him for being a senile old man, that's fine. But he's doing a pretty decent job of
he looks
the big things.
Horrible.
He's an old man.
I mean, well, the presidency, what is it like?
They say it ages you, yeah.
Is it like 8 years for every something
well,
like that?
I don't know what they actually say, but like it doesn't matter when you're that age. You're old as shit anyways.
But that motherfucker switched over to dog years, bro. Every year is counted as 7 or 8 for him. He definitely had work done.
I don't know about that.
Oh, you can see it. His eyes are pitched up here. They were never like that before. He used to have bags underneath. You don't look at the same guy anymore.
You might be getting a little too deep in Joe Rogan's podcast.
Andrew's got an amazing joke that is going to piss you off, and it's so fucking funny.
I don't know that any of it will piss me off.
Oh, it's a slight at you, and it's hilarious.
Wait.
He said it weeks ago.
This is a joke that Andrew made or heard on Joe Rogan?
No, Andrew, this is all. I'm not gonna go into it.
Let's hear it, Denhead.
I just know he said it, and I fucking laughed weeks ago.
Let's hear it.
And then
let's hear it.
He brought it up again the other day. And he reminded me. I was like, oh.
Was it because I don't worship Joe Rogan?
I'm not
Is
gonna
that
go
the
in
problem?
It's his joke to tell, bro. I ain't Carlos Messina. I don't steal shit. All right. I do my own thing.
Here's the thing. As far as, like, because I don't want to turn this into a whole political jag for the next 45 minutes.
What's your problem with Joe Rogan?
I don't really have much of a problem with him.
Doesn't sound like it.
I enjoy his podcast clips. I also think that the fandom around him has gone a little insane. I think a lot of his political views are horseshit.
Well,
I mean,
you're allowed to think what you want.
I'm not going to make apologies for like. There's no good reason anyone could come to the conclusion of, yeah, Donald Trump's an honest guy, I should vote for him. Really? Because his entire life says otherwise.
Do you think that Joe Rogan likes Donald Trump?
Yeah, he's absolutely a Trump supporter.
He absolutely. Do you watch Joe Rogan?
I've seen plenty enough clips. Yeah, he's a Trump supporter.
I think you have to understand there's AI involved here. Joe Rogan is not a Trump supporter. He's adamantly said he'd never have him on the show because he won't give him anywhere to sprout his nonsense.
Okay, but listen to some of the policies that he's sympathetic to.
Well, that's okay. You're allowed to do that and still not be a Trump supporter.
Oh, I would say he's a supporter. Yeah,
I would say he's not.
Is he going and voting for him?
No, he voted for Biden.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure he said it on his podcast. He's pretty... Dude, the guy's worth a bunch of money. Like, why would he have to lie about that?
A huge portion of his fan base.
How much of Joe Rogan do you listen to on a regular basis?
I don't listen. I don't tune into any single episode.
Well, there you go.
I see probably
clips.
On almost a daily basis, clips. Yeah.
You know how many clips I see every day of Joe Rogan's voice with a video of Joe Rogan? The words are not matching his voice, and you're just seeing text, and it's all fucking bullshit.
Okay, well,
it's AI.
I don't see any of clips where his voice isn't matching. It's typically like there's also a guest on.
You've got to see this. They discovered this beast in a while. It'll blow your mind. It's not Joe Rogan. I listen to Joe Rogan on the daily, and it's not how he sounds.
Okay, so
you're wrong.
We'll
Andrew calling right now. I want to hear the joke.
We'll put a pin in Joe Rogan's voting record for now until we do more research.
He's got a problem with you.
Who, Joe Rogan?
Yeah, as people reached out and said they want to have me on their show, but I had to leave you at home, and I said we a team.
Right.
That was last year when we were doing regular shows. I'm going to have to give them a call back and tell them I might be available for a spot.
Can we get back to whatever our original point was?
I don't know what that was.
You asked if I had a problem with Joe Rogan. I don't have a problem with him.
Well, you got a problem.
I do typically think, like, when I hear him talk about certain issues, that he's kind of full of shit.
Andrew's joke's so funny. It's not even a joke, bro. It's just a one-liner, but it's funny.
Okay. I look forward to hearing
Gets
it.
me. Tickling my innards
I'll say this. In interviews I've seen him in, he certainly seems to argue the case for Trump.
Tell you, bro. Guy's not a Trump supporter.
And you're telling me he has, on his show, said he voted for Biden.
I remember him saying he did not vote for Trump.
Okay, well.
And he voted. So
he could have voted for a third party.
Right, which is even more ridiculous in my opinion if you do that, because you're literally throwing your vote away.
In a two-party system, yeah.
I did not vote. I refused to vote for Biden. I refused to vote for Trump. This year, I'm pretty much put into the exact same position. And I don't like not voting, but...
Well, then here's what I would tell you. And I would tell anybody, like...
Well, you tell me to vote Demi, bro. I know you tell me, vote for the demigods.
And okay, why am I going to tell you that, though?
And then Joe Biden's like, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I've never seen Biden do that, but
you ever seen Moana?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a Moana song.
No, that's Maui's song.
Well, Maui's song, sorry. I don't have a 13-year-old wife to entertain. We watch adult movies.
25 now. Thank you.
It wouldn't be an episode without making a crack about it.
Okay, now can I finish up a few points?
Yeah.
The reason I would inform you or any working class person to vote Democratic is forget the personalities involved on either side of the aisle in any given election. Look at the policies. And the policies of Democratic candidates much more aligned with working class people. It's really that simple.
Oh, that check they sent us. Did you get the earned income credit last year?
I can't remember.
If you did, you'll be getting a check coming very soon. Ours was $1,500.
You know what? Shirley mentioned something about that. That's what it was?
Yeah, I love it.
I'll take it.
I love in the letter it says, hey, the state of Michigan paid for my new hat and Biggie Small shirt and my lunch today. Thank you. It said, thanks to Democratic legislation, you are being awarded a 24%. I'm like, you just had to slip that in. You could just be like, hey.
Hey, but you know what? Especially in a hyper-partisan age, why not take the credit when you can take the credit?
I mean, I'm voting Democratic in Michigan every time. I don't want the state turning red. People are like, my mom running this shit. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, we could delve into politics deeply.
Oh, shout out to Jay Fitzy for sticking it out. I got you, Jay. I got you.
What did
Jay Fitzy.
for sticking it out? Was there a problem there?
Nah, everything's peachy king.
Sounds like there was something there.
I'll talk to you about it off air.
Jay Fitzy, for those of you who may have forgotten through our hiatus, is my aunt, Brandon's mother's boyfriend. Okay.
Fiance. I'm kidding.
Oh,
No, that's
okay.
complete fabric. She'll be so mad that I even said that. She'll be like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's best if we just move on to the politics because there's so many layers here, and
I'm uneducated in politics.
well, to me, we long past the Rubicon. Like the Trump thing. Like they're in a cult. They're in a cult. They believe things beyond reason.
I don't know if Trump's in a cult or if he's leading a
He's
cult.
the leader of the cult.
I don't know, dude. I think people have people that are in love with him who will never meet him or anything. They're in control of their own cult. That is their mind.
It's celebrity worship, is what it is.
He's not even a fucking celebrity.
Well, he is. He was a celebrity before he was a politician.
Can't wait till we're celebrities. I can
Well,
say off the wall shit.
I don't know if we can say off the ball shit now and have no consequences for
That
the
is
most part.
true. Yeah, we might be in trouble if we ever were to blow up.
Other than
I told Andrew
The-
you were
the
afraid.
ladies.
I told Andrew you were afraid of success.
we had that conversation before.
Well, we had it recently.
It's something I've pondered on.
We had it recently.
Something I've talked to my therapist
and
about.
I think you definitely showed that with certain actions. I'm like, motherfucker afraid to succeed. I said, what kind of skeletons he got in his closet?
Do you
don't
know?
wanna
Do you
blow
know
up?
maybe that there's sometimes like I have other priorities, like a flooding
like a
basement.
family?
Yeah,
Fuck your family.
yeah, like a family, a job.
I got all those same priorities, homie.
Okay, I don't see you
But-
leading the podcast. I don't see you purchasing the equipment. Trying to criticize me
Don't
because
even know how to run it.
you're making my point for me.
Like,
Thank you.
you're the one that came to me wanting to start the podcast.
Whoa! I was the one that came to
You had the money. I got the talent. I don't know what to tell you.
I got like 3-4 years worth of messages.
got me at a
where
deal,
you're like,
bro, free.
homie, when we
got
doing
me at
that
a deal.
podcast, homie.
I don't say homie. I say brother, motherfucker. I'm like Hulk Hogan, bro.
Pretty sure you've called me homie a number of times.
Come on, homie. When we doing this shit?
I got the receipts. All right, let's move on from all of this now that we're damn near halfway through this episode.
Me and Drew doing our own podcast called
That's
Drew and B.
Funny, I ain't heard it.
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Of course it hasn't. I look forward to this joke of Andrew's. I'll call him later, see what he has
I hope
to
I didn't
say.
build it up too much. It's just a punchline. It's just a hitter at you. But it's
Well, here's
funny.
the thing: like, I can't really be shamed for my views. I know what my views are. Like, I'm not. It's like if it's a joke about me being, whatever my political belief. Like, okay.
Oh
Like,
no, it's nothing like that. It's just a play on words and it's funny.
Oh, well, I like a good play on words.
You'll like this. You'll like this.
All right, let's get into some topics then. A few weeks back, so one solution I found to close the deficit in my household, the financial deficit.
No need to explain that. I'm not an idiot.
No, some of our viewers might be.
You kind
Some
of
our
side-eyed
listeners-
me as you
some
did that,
of
and you
our
made this weird, like
listeners might
Mr. Burns,
be.
like motion with your hands, like.
Do you understand what a deficit is? My brother, who has a really good job, is doing this, and I was a little surprised to hear that. He's well, they're calling it donating plasma, but you're not really donating because they pay you to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
it's called prostitution of your natural fluids.
I would have no interest in doing it if they weren't paying me. So, yeah, they like had this introductory deal over your first 5 visits. You can make $525.
Yeah.
I'm like, to go sit there and have fluid extracted for an hour? Yeah, I'll do that. So I started doing that. And then on my second visit, I've completed 6 donations now. My second visit, oh, thank
Sorry.
you. What I do is I bring a book or I bring comics with me to read because you can't go anywhere. You're hooked up to a
Right.
machine. You're just sitting there.
It's sucking the life right out of your veins.
And the donation period
quick
takes about an hour. So I'm in there reading, and I had a reprint of an old Tales from the Crypt comic that I was reading.
Which one?
I can't remember. I could take a picture of it and send it to you if
I
you'd
need
like.
you to do that. Yeah, I fucking read Tales from the Crib. What do you mean?
Love those old horror comics. So often I'll do my little donation, and then afterward I'll treat myself to the comic shop just the next city over and buy some comics.
Why not just hit the sperm bank that's right next door? It's 3 donations and a pickup. You're good to go.
It's crossed my mind.
Couple little loads to each bank.
I should,
and you got
I
a
should
new-
probably
you got
look
a new-
into what they pay for that.
I don't know, but I would assume there's a certain, although maybe there's not. Can you remember that Office episode where Chan gets the sperm donor, And the Kevin's like, I donated to a sperm bank. She's like, it was a very prestige place. He's like, the place next to the IHOP? He's like, I think I slept with Jan. So fucking funny. Well written.
So there I am in my seat reading Tales from the Crypt. And I noticed the woman like kitty corner across from me staring at me a number of different times throughout the donation.
Was this the Plasma Center or the Cum Center?
Plasma.
Okay.
I have not been to the Jack Shack.
The Jack Shack.
So, the first time, whatever, you sometimes you get caught looking at someone just because you're like, oh, that's an interesting looking person. And then you look away when they look at you, right?
I'm like,
So I think to myself, well, maybe she's not even looking at me. Maybe she's looking past my shoulder at the wall because she's nervous or whatever. This is her first donation. And then I think, maybe she sees the comic and she's curious about it. Maybe she sees the comic because it's a splashy, gory cover kind of. Is it colorful? Like maybe she like is the type of person that's like, I don't really agree with that. Yeah. Good for you. I don't give a shit.
Long hair.
So, yeah. So throughout the whole donation, I catch her staring at me, or what seems to be she's staring at me a couple different times. I finish up my donation. I don't really think anything much more of it. I go to the bathroom before I leave, and then I'm heading out the front door. Now, it's nighttime at this point. And I'm walking to my car, and I hear someone say, excuse me. Now, whenever I'm in public and I hear an excuse me, I ignore it.
I'm the same way.
I don't want to deal with it. And initially, I don't even know if you're talking to me.
Right.
So I keep walking.
Sir.
Then I hear a second. Oh, excuse me. Now, at this point, I'm like, well, I'm still ignoring it, but they are probably talking to me. But whatever it is, I don't feel like dealing with it. So I keep walking. Then a third excuse me comes. Now, at this point, I'm like, I know they're talking to me. I kind of glance around. There's nobody else around. I'm like, oh, for God's sake. I'm like,
what now?
Either I just, I straight up go full on prick here and just keep walking, or I...
Like, you got your buildings mixed up. You jizzed in our plasma. Like,
like, oh, pardon me.
We're going to need you to come inside and talk to the authorities.
Can't you just swap it with the other place? So I turn around, and there is this kind of a small woman standing there flagging me down. And I look at her, and it's the lady who was staring at me.
Oh.
So I kind of stop, and I walk back, and she's like, oh, hey, tells me this story how she's trying to get to a hardware store because her windshield's cracked.
I see many a pornos that started this way. Tell me more.
So I'm thinking, okay, your windshield's cracked, you're trying to get to a hardware store, but you got here. Did you not drive yourself here? So she's telling me her story, and at this point, I'm just kind of sizing her up. I'm like, well, she's kind of small. She's got like a big winter coat on. She's holding a couple bags.
It's like I can fit her in a duffel bag, drop her in the bay. It'll be all right.
Well, what I'm thinking is if she's going to try something, she's much smaller than me. She's pretty bundled up.
Oh, that wouldn't have been a concern for me.
Well, she's a stranger. I don't know.
It would have been more prostitution.
She might be trying to mug me. I don't know.
A little woman trying to mug you.
You never know when someone's that desperate or what's going through someone's head.
I think they'd offer to suck your dick before they'd offer to kill you.
Yeah, you never know. So anyways, I kind of size up. I'm like, she couldn't pull anything on me very quickly, if that's like what she's thinking. But I didn't catch any bad vibes from her. And she's describing where she needs to go. And I know the hardware place she wants to go. It's actually on my way home.
Making hardware?
No. It was very common hardware place. So I was like, yeah, I know where you're talking about. But she wasn't terribly familiar with the area because I was like, oh, you're talking over by this and that. And she's like, well, I'm not sure about that. But as she explains the route, she's like, you take her right here, take her right there. I'm like, yeah, we're talking about the same place. I can take you. Then before we get to the car, she's like, oh, could you hold on a second? I need to run back in and tell them something at the plasma place. And at this point, I'm kind of like, maybe she's having second thoughts. Maybe she's like, well, I don't really know this guy. Whatever. I clear out some space from the passenger seat, and she's back outside pretty quickly. So she gets in, and so now it's like the point where we have to make obligatory small talk, so there's no awkward silences.
I deal with the awkward silence, bro. Put music on.
So we start to drive, and at this point, she's like, I changed my mind. So there's a red flag. What are the boys doing out there?
I don't know.
Boys are outside the window.
Where are they all going?
They're taking
my whole family just abandoned me.
Yep, April said that's the final straw. Talking about our finances. We out.
Loaning them money.
You got no kids now?
I mean, I think it's lost in her that, I make $16 an hour. She makes $15 an hour. We make, anywhere from 40 to 50 a year. Yeah, we're fucking poor. You're not...
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard
hiding that from anybody. We live in an apartment.
To get by with 2 kids like that, yeah. That's
they don't go without.
Like anyone can run the math and be like, yeah, it's probably tight to get by. You know.
Tight.
All right, so back to the story. Then she tells me, she's like, oh, actually, I don't really need to go to the hardware store. Red flag. I'm like,
right.
We met 30 seconds ago. I agreed to drive you. Now you're changing the destination.
No, you're going to the hardware store. I'm putting you.
So she says, do you mind just taking me home? And I'm like, well, where do you live? So I won't say like what area I was in, just to sort of to protect this person's identity, I guess.
Is it gentrified?
It's not in a terrible area, but it's not in the best of areas. It borders a bit of a sketchy area, and my fear was she was going to say, "Oh, sketchy area, that's where I live." She doesn't, but it's sketchy enough. I'll put it this way. Not too far from where I lived when I lived with my dad.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So,
no shit.
So we start going down the street. And now at this point, I'm like, whatever, take this girl home. And I would estimate she's probably in her late 20s to mid 30s, maybe.
So way too fucking old for you.
Way too old. I am not interested. So we're just bullshitting.
Man's a fan of the seedlings. She don't want no full-grown tree.
She tells me her name, first and last name. Now, I have forgotten how her last name was spelled, but...
They spelled it for you?
Yeah, she did. Because it was a particular country, and somebody I know also has their family on one side is also from this country. So
did it end in Czech?
Huh?
Did it end in Czech?
No.
Okay.
So we're just making a little bit of conversation about that. And so she spells her last name. And my brain was like, remember it so you can look her up on social media.
Damn.
Psycho. So let's say her name is Julia. So Julia's telling me a bit about her life. And she mentions that her dad recently passed away. She mentions this church she goes to.
She's like, I've got daddy issues.
Well,
Papa Joe. My savior for the white knight. I need green card, please.
Well, she was American. She told me she had spent a good portion of her life out
on her knees.
She didn't specify. Maybe out in California. Brandon's going with his laughing fits. It's difficult for him to breathe. He's clutching
sorry,
his
it's been
chest.
a while. I haven't laughed as hard as last year when I was making fun of Stu.
So yeah, she tells me her dad passed away. You know, this was like just a month after Shirley's dad had passed away. From? Her dad?
Yeah.
I didn't ask, man.
Why would you not ask that?
I just gave my condolences, and I was like, my girlfriend dad recently passed away. You know,
people tell me someone died. I asked, what was it? You don't mind me asking.
Like he was sawed in half. Thank you.
Nice. Like it was a circus accident, a magician.
So this is where it starts to get weird.
And now it gets weird.
Because I tell her, I'm like, oh, you know, my girlfriend, you know, and I'm dropping hints on her this whole time, like that I'm familiar with the area. Almost like, don't pull any shit, because I know where I'm at. I grew up in this area.
And you're involved.
Yeah, right. So then she says,
your kid has kids.
She says, she's like, you have a girlfriend. I said, yeah. And she goes, and you guys have a child together? Like very matter of factly, so calm it was creepy.
That's a little creepy.
And
the way you said it was kind of creepy.
I go, yep, we got a little boy. He's going on 2. And then she goes, oh, that's what the car seat's for. And I'm thinking, what else would it be?
No, that's for the watermelons that I buy in the daily. The kids' car seats in the other car. Thank you.
So at this point, I'm like, I'm thinking, what? Were you gonna mug me? But now you're recalibrating because you know I have a kid.
Now she's gonna put an air tag your vehicle and mug your whole fucking family, bro. Sell your kid into slavery.
Okay. So
Jeffrey Epstein.
We hit our Michigan turnaround. We're heading north at this point. And again, just making conversation. I'm like, hey, how'd you find out about the donation place? And she starts to tell me the story. She goes, she's like, I was in the hospital. Well, it was actually the psych ward. And I'm like, of course it was. Well, why wouldn't it be? And she says, I met some interesting people in there. I'm not sure you did. I'm sure you did. And she says, they told me about this place. I'm like, oh, okay. Then she starts telling me why she was in the psych ward. She says, well, I was only in there because I mouthed off to the police. I'm like, no, they do not put you in the psych ward for mouthing off. That's not a thing that happens.
No, they don't.
Then goes into this jag about how it was the ex-boyfriend or ex-husband who had her put in there.
But he's dead now, so don't need to worry.
Well, he didn't specify if he was dead, but he was the reason her windshield was cracked.
Damn.
Yada, yada, yada. So at this point, I'm just like, could we just please get to the destination alive? Because honestly, my brain now is like, you may have made a mistake trying to help this person. And it was a freezing cold night, so I felt bad for her when she first asked. And I was like, you know what? She might just be having the worst day of her life. Most people don't ask a stranger for a ride because it's the best day of their life, you know?
Right.
I was like, she probably doesn't have a phone to call anybody. So now we're driving. And we're passing a key road. And I'm like, so we turn in here? She's like, oh, no, it's just a little further. And she goes, actually, I'm like, oh, God, here we go. We're changing the route again.
Time to get out.
She wants to stop at McDonald's.
No,
and
dude.
I'm thinking,
no.
In my head, I'm like, lady, this ain't a taxi. Like, and now I'm thinking, okay, does she intend for me to drop her off there because she doesn't want me to see where she lives? This is what I'm hoping at this point.
Right. That's
I'm like,
the best case scenario.
I'm like, I can understand that. And that would show me that you're thinking about your own safety because you don't really know me.
Nah, she ain't worried about that.
That's what's most comfortable for all of us.
Not the vibe I get.
So as we're driving, throughout this journey, every little anecdote I share about my life, every answer I give her in response to one of her questions, she does this unsettling, simpering giggle. And it sounded like this. Oh, that's so sweet.
Gosh, you're one of the strangers, bro?
No exaggeration. That's exactly how she sounded. And she would do it in six. It wasn't like one time it would be a another time it would be a hee. It was always a
You're better than me. I'm stopping to say, get the fuck out of my car right now. A, that's kind of annoying. It's definitely creepy. Get out.
So
now,
honest to God, I'm like, what is going on with that laugh? I'm like, this is unsettling me. Again, I'm trying to give her the benefit. I'm like, maybe she's nervous. Whatever.
Doesn't excuse that.
I'm thinking,
it's odd.
My brain at this point is like, okay, I don't know if she intends for me to drive her further after McDonald's, but we may just need to leave. When she gets out of McDonald's, it's time to go because I'm not comfortable with this.
But you're leaving the minute she got to get me down. But you're going to the drive-thru, bro.
No. That she wanted to be dropped. So
she insisted on going inside to what? Shoot up?
Who knows? So I stop, pull McDonald's, and I stop. She gathers her bags, which there was quite a few.
She got that McHeroin. Hey.
So she says to me, she clarifies again. She's like, what'd you say your name was? So I'm like, Joel. And she was like, well, thank you, Joel. And she leans and gives me a hug, which was a little, weird.
She had titties?
I couldn't tell, dude. She was in a giant coat.
Yeah, they're all depressed and shit. She's fucking heroin addict.
So gives me a hug, gets out of the car, and she's standing just outside the passenger door, gathering her things. And she's just kind of staring at me for a few seconds. And staring at me in a way that's almost like she couldn't believe someone did something that nice for her, gave her a ride.
She was obligated to suck on your balls for a little while. She knew it, you knew it.
So then she said thanks. She's like, maybe I'll see you around there. And I was like, well, I need the money, so I'll be there. And then she walked around the back of the car and then went in McDonald's. And I started to drive away. And within seconds of driving away, I out loud said to myself, it's like, that was odd. And again, I know I said this in our group chat, stupid thought, but my brain was like, was that some sort of a test from the universe? Was that person even human? Like, was that an alien? Was that an angel? What the hell just happened here? And that was
What were they testing you on, bro? You a rapist?
Who the hell knows? Like, you're just like, are they going to do a kind act? Are they going to help a stranger?
My help only goes so fucking far. Now, the universe is going to test you again. Through me.
Okay.
I am trapped in this fucking honey hole 2.0. I need you to kindly and calmly take off your headphones, slide your chair back, raise yourself up, take yourself to my small refrigerated boxes right outside the door, and grab me not one, but two of these beautiful green cans.
Are you fucking kidding me? All of this. I thought you were going to some interesting hypothetical where, like, you needed me, like, to save your life. You're just too lazy to go get beer?
I can't unplug that. I don't want to risk damaging your equipment. Oh my God. It's really for you.
For me.
For you.
For me.
It's for you. You can leave me alone with the software for a little bit. I won't say anything too inappropriate, I promise.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So anyways, that was my story.
That's good.
You talking about the mini fridge in the living room?
Yes.
You need two.
Well, it saves you from getting up again.
You guys hear this shit? Okay, so I'm just gonna let it all run. You can fill the void.
Fill the dead air.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Princess.
It's no problem. Dance, monkey, dance. Joel's off on his way to get me not one but 2 beers, as I requested. I'm so intricate to the process that he feels need to make sure that I'm happy and that my needs are taken care of, and I appreciate that. Don't shake him up.
They didn't shake him up.
Fucking Christ. Appreciate that, lad. Garçon. Garçon means boy.
Yeah, I know.
Pulp Fiction.
I took French for 4 years.
I watched Pulp Fiction and I know that.
Means.
Wasted your money.
Big. It was high school. I didn't pay any money.
Well, your parents did.
Big insult. It was high school. Public high school.
Oh, wait, there. I'm not going to make the joke. We're not going to go down the poor road again. I don't want to upset Aunt
Well,
Robin.
they'd have been paying taxes on the house.
Yeah, poor people don't pay tax.
They pay They pay property
tax. You know
tax.
what the difference is? That's the difference right there, bro. Poor then, you had a fucking nice house, garage, backyard. Yeah, you were poor. You may have got food stamps, whatever. You go to Boogeytown to get your groceries.
Wow, Boogeytown.
But
That's so racist.
Jay knows where Boogeytown is, and he can take us back there. He knows where Boogeytown is.
Whoa. Are you... Wait a second. Growing up... okay, full disclosure for the audience. My mom, who I love dearly, used to refer to... I took it as she referred to the entire city of Detroit.
Nope.
As Boogeytown.
It's an actual place.
It's not an actual place.
Easttown Market. I know because Jay told me.
So it was specifically Easttown Market.
Yep. And I told him, I was like, you probably remember the smell.
I don't remember the smell.
Oh,
no.
I will never forget the smell. I always associate it. I'm not gonna say it because it's just horribly racist.
Okay.
It's just a horrible thing.
Jesus.
But it was a smell that I associated with what I was known as Boogeytown. And Value Village, maybe, where we got the color forms.
Dude, that was in Lincoln Park, South.
The Value, that was in there. But Boogeytown, bro.
Yeah.
You've been to Boogeytown, bro. Your mom been to Boogeytown.
Yes, I have been to
What's
what my mom used to refer to as a Boogeytown. And I got to about 12, 13 years old. I was like, pretty sure that was racist.
I don't think it's just her that it was just her that called it that.
No, I'm sure it was all sorts of white people that called it that.
No, Jay knew exactly what Boogeytown Market was. He knew exactly what that was. He said, "Y'all poor like that." I said, no, I'm like, we weren't. Joel's family was, though. Greg worked in a steel mill. We had money on money, bro.
All right, but you're talking about 2 different periods of my life. By the time I was in high school, I wouldn't say we were what I would call.
We were kids,
poor.
like kids.
When we were kids,
Yeah.
sure. When we were kids, after my parents split, especially after my dad got hurt, yeah, we were pretty poor. Because my dad wasn't working. I mean, it was some slim pickings.
He was still working on the gambling.
That was later in the 90s.
He's like, I don't have to work anymore. I can gamble.
That was later in the 90s. No, but when, once my mom and Mike got the house in Detroit Beach, like, I mean, we were working class.
Oh, well, yeah. Obviously, that's way later on, though. Boogeytown was like Lincoln Park days.
Yeah. That's when we were
London
kids.
Street, Progress Street.
All this because you insisted I paid for French classes in high school.
Hey.
Okay, well,
There's a method to my madness.
we still got to get Jay on sometime. He can tell us all
I don't
about
know what
it.
his fucking problem is. He's like, we got to start our own podcast. I'm like, he won't even come and talk on this podcast. How the fuck are you going to talk full time on another podcast?
You trying to poach you from me? Jay, what the fuck, man?
He's doing like a reverse slavery thing.
That's some reverse racism right there.
Except he's going to pay me.
You're trying to poach my help.
I'm more than a help, motherfucker. I'm the backbone of funny in this motherfucker.
Why the hell were we? What were we talking about?
That's how you know it was a good episode, because we off on all kinds of tangents. Stu's at home right now.
Brandon's crossing his arms, looking angry. I don't think that's what he's doing.
Caressing his plants. I still love you, baby. Just kidding, Stu. I'm just giving you shit, bro.
All this because I came back and you made your garçon.
Garçon.
Okay. Where the fuck were we? What were we going to next?
I don't know.
Didn't you have a janitor's closet thing?
I do.
We
didn't talk about that, but I got a janitor's closet.
We got about like 14 minutes left in this
Oh
episode.
yeah, it's gonna take 14 minutes, but
It is or it won't?
It won't.
It won't?
No.
Okay, well then let's go to another edition of the Janitor's Closet. Demo, take it away. How's life in the janitor? What do you call it? The
janitorial saga.
No. You the custodial arts. Isn't that what you called it before?
Agent of the custodial arts. Yes. It's been odd because I'm a floater now. They fucked me over at my school because I was married to one of the people that worked there. So now I'm a floater, which is fine because they pay me supervisor wage to float around the district. I'm at a different school every day.
Okay.
Except for right now, I'm at a different school because the chick broke her ankle and got a bone infection, so she's fucking out like indefinitely, so I'm there. Utilizing my time reading as many books as possible. It's a one hallway school. It's an alternative high school, so
oh dear,
a lot of fuck ups.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know,
I've subbed at some of those.
Babies and STDs and STIs. I heard them arguing about that. Like, I got an STI. It's not an STD. It's a sexually transmitted infection, not a disease. Like, you're still a hooch. Like, whatever. Start wrapping it up.
Like a horse, sweetheart.
But I was at what used to be Cantrick. I don't know what it's like.
Do you want to be saying these names?
Yeah, it's not even called that anymore.
Okay.
It's a school.
I get it.
Where I went to school at Cantrick.
Yeah.
So it's not Cantrick anymore, but anyone who went there, like Andrew will know, there's an underground tunnel system.
Interesting.
Now, I never had seen
think
this.
Think it leads to Boogeytown?
Very well may be, judging by the smell. But I never went down there as a kid, but now I was in there for a couple of days. The chick who worked there had come down with some kind of illness. But she's like, hey, you ever get bored? She messaged me this. If you get bored, go walk the tunnels. I said, what tunnels? The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's intriguing.
She's like, you go here, open this door, go down the stairs, turn the lights on. She's like, it's a tunnel system. She's like, enjoy yourself. I said, well, fucking.
You're like, what, you got a camera
vaguely
on me?
right.
As you're chronically masturbating at that very moment.
You wouldn't even do that down there. The minute I got down there, I'm not going to dare you to jerk off in a school, bro. You go to prison.
Got to get caught.
At best, you find a second wife. So anyways, I'm down there and I'm roaming these hallways. It's tunnels, bro. It's like pipes above your head, cement walls, rounded.
Yeah, okay.
Tunnels.
So they're just like utility tunnels.
Yeah, and I don't know where I'm at. And I just, from the minute I get down there, I get the vibe that I'm being watched. And I think it's just, everyone feels that when you're a weird ass place like that. But I'm like looking at this sign that's from the old school, like the original school, before they expanded it, and it's got this guy's name on it, George whatever. George Cantrick. George Cantrick. He loved the kids. So I'm like, okay, and as I'm looking at that, I hear fucking noises. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. It wasn't like any Pacific sound. It just felt like whatever I felt like was watching me was getting closer and closer to me. So I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. This is fun adventuring. So I get upstairs and I message her and I'm like, that place is fucking creepy. She's like, did you see the ghost? I said, what? What ghost? If there's a fucking ghost, if that was haunted, why didn't you tell me beforehand? She's like, I don't like to put anyone's imagination. Like, she don't want to spark it up. Like, if you think that immediately when you go down there. I'm like, dude. She's like, go down there. I'm like, no, I will not go down there again and do whatever you say I got to do to help initiate the ghost shit. I already felt like I was being fucking watched. I'll handle vomit, piss, shit. I'm not dealing with ghosts, bro. And it was so scary, bro. If the lights went out, let's say the power, what the, about as nutted on your lips. Had the power went out, I'd have been lost. I was tunnels deep, bro.
You have your phone on you? Your flashlight on your phone?
I guess I didn't think about that, yeah. But still, I mean, I would have been freaked the fuck out. So I don't know if there's actually a ghost there, but like the school is named after you. You fucking die. That's how you want to spend your eternity. Looking at little kids. What's your name? Joel Adkins?
That's kind of
not little kids. Preteens.
Bit of a stretch.
Okay, not even preteens. 18-year-old young ladies.
Shirley was 21.
She's got a petulance for young ladies.
21 when we started dating.
April's worried about us talking about borrowing money. She wants that bleeped out. calling you a pedophile to your face, which is not true. And if I think people would know that. I don't believe that. I'm just making fun of it because it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned about it.
Yeah. I get that, clearly.
You know what? That leads me to a funny story, though. We got about 8 minutes left. So, old Herbie, he recently started dating someone new.
Nice.
Maybe. I'm gonna say most of this in code because I don't want to get him in trouble.
I'm not great with code.
So, okay, well, he had this conversation recently. It turned into a fight between him and his new gal, where she was making these comments about age gap relationships.
How old is she?
You know what? That's the funny thing.
Too young to say?
No. I that's the funny thing is I think she's roughly a decade younger than him.
He's our age.
Yeah.
Older than me, I'm assuming. By what, a year?
Yeah, Herbie's 41.
30-something?
So, here's the thing. She was talking about a case, and these were celebrities. She was talking about a case where the guy was 31 and the chick was 19.
Was it my dad? He was actually 34. My mom was 19. Actually, he was 34. She was 18. Born at 1935.
That really wasn't the more egregious aspect of that relationship.
Nonetheless.
That was funny running into him, though, when I came over today.
Well, I knew it was going to happen.
He left pretty quickly. I thought maybe we'd reminisce.
I told him, I was like, I appreciate every ill-conceived thing that you did, every horrible, malicious thing you do with young ladies. Because here I am. I appreciate that. Your indiscretion has led to me.
So he's telling me this story because he's venting to me. So, pair of celebrities, guy's 31, girl's 19, and the new girlfriend's making the case that's basically like grooming. That's wrong, blah, blah, blah.
If you're an adult, you can vote.
And that's pretty much, that was Herbie's whole argument. Like, he's like, well, it's like, they're adults, blah, blah.
And if you think you're being groomed, then get out.
Well, and his whole point was like, it's not fair for you to kind of throw that blanket statement on everyone. You kind of got to look at those as like individual cases.
100%.
And he was like, do I think in most cases where I hear about a 30-something guy dating a 19-year-old that he's just kind of being like an old man trying to score young ass? Well, of course. So as he and I are talking, I'm like, yeah, but also, as long as she's an adult, what the fuck is wrong with that?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
matter.
Like, we sure don't scrutinize it the other way when the woman's older and it's a younger guy.
Triple the amount.
Right.
It could be a 65-year-old with a 19-year-old.
So, yeah, they had a big blow up over that. And he told me, he was like, I brought you and Shirley up. I'm like, well, thank you.
I mean, April's 8 years younger than me.
Yeah, I mean, eight I think is like right there on the cusp of what most people would
I was
consider
25,
acceptable.
she was 18.
Oh, hi.
Oh, you want the hay part? I tried before that. That's high.
we got a groomer here.
I think it's okay once you're married and knocked them up a few times. But yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck. Man, you see something you like, you go for it.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Closed mouth don't get fed, homie. And I was hungry. Papa was hungry.
Listen, all I've got to say is that ain't no Kool-Aid.
It certainly was not. Certainly was not.
So yeah, he had that little blow up, and then he told me, he was like, he's like, sure, like we all made our jokes about Joel. He's like, but they've been together for 4.5 years now. They have a kid. Like, so you telling me like that relationship shouldn't be allowed?
Graduate high school any day. I mean,
any day. Her and I talked about this yesterday. I think it was just like, if it ever affects her, like if people like look at our relationship negatively. And I mean, I certainly don't. I could give a shit less if someone actually had, like, if someone were to seriously say to me like, oh, you're too old for her, I'd be like, well, that's great, thank you, you're not in this relationship.
I've already knocked her up, so a little late for that.
No fucking kidding.
So sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the mind, like, I don't care what someone's motivations are. Is if it's legal, it's legal, and mind your own fucking business. It's pretty simple.
If April dies, I'm gonna find myself, and I'll be honest with you. The older I get, the more I start leaning towards the other end of it, which is so weird. I've never been into women older than me, ever.
So you're saying
I'm
something happens with April, or you guys split? You're looking for someone like in their 60s or something?
Not just
Are you looking for a sugar mama?
Not someone just in their 60s. Someone in their 60s that's got the means to take care of
So
a strapping young lad like myself.
You want a
who's got
sugar
certain
mama.
desires.
Hey, I don't blame you.
Like excessive gambling and drinking.
Me and Shirley have joked about that.
I mean, I put my face in an old vagina. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, like being like a gigolo for older women.
Remember the Marion Illich thing from like way back?
Yeah.
Tongue fucker once a month to completion. Yes, sir. Sign me up.
Man.
She's dead. I'll still do it.
Could you imagine, though, like, going down on an old lady?
From what Jay tells me, the vagina and the titties don't age.
Bullshit, titties don't age.
Something to do with the fact that they're not... Well, yeah, they're going to wrinkle a little bit, but they're not seeing sun as the rest of the body.
They're going to sag like a motherfucker.
You throw them over your shoulder, bro. Suck them from the back. I'll bring one down while I'm eating pussy.
The visual I was just made to witness, everybody. I will not recount
Toothless
it.
and tonguey.
So
is the best way to describe it.
You will not also have to be traumatized by it, but I just protected all of you from something horrendous, and you should thank me for that. All right.
Audience should be happy that I'm back.
I think that they should be happy that we're both back.
Shit just got... Bro, you've been around.
It's almost been 2 months.
And ain't motherfuckers cared. You've been around, ain't motherfuckers cared.
You know, you keep making these comments, all right?
What are you going to do? No. Kick me out for another 6 months? I hate it. Good luck. Your channel can't afford it.
So take a swig of my water.
The one that nutted on your lips.
That was good water.
Yeah,
this fucking water bottle, like a piece of plastic broke off of it and like was stuck to my lip.
You should have intentionally choked on that, bro. I wouldn't have even said it if you pulled it in your mouth and started choking out. We could have sued the fuck. It's all on camera. We could have sued the fuck out of somebody.
I don't know if Perform X has got the bankroll to really pay out.
Someone behind them was like Walmart.
Not exactly Gatorade.
Someone behind them was like Walmart. That's like a Walmart brand.
Oh, look at the distribution.
Motherfucker, Perform X.
The Unix Packaging LLC, Montebello, California.
Oh, they got monies.
All right, it's time to wrap this episode up, but we will be back next week. In the meantime, you want to interact with this podcast, you know how to do. You know us. You can message us directly. But if you don't, you can hit us up at vagrantsandvandals@gmail.com. That's vagrants, the letter N, vandals@gmail.com. Bimo, real quick, any final words as you're doing a touch or field goal pole?
It's a V.
What are you doing?
V and V.
Oh.
I miss your fam. It's good to be back. We're going to try to get back on track and do this shit more regularly. Keep y'all laughing, keep y'all entertained, and hey, you know, dang ma.
And remember, be you vagrant or be you vandal, all rascals and rogues, welcome here.